Well, I'm going to try to do this, and then I'm going to. it's I'm doing it from not a script, okay, from memory, and I'm hurting, and I'm not sure I'm doing myself any favors putting it on here anymore. I've put as much as I can. I'm going to show this again. My dad and the double. That married Wallace Simpson, and can't get by without showing Elizabeth, illegal, that's using my money, my hell, and the British's, and giving everything away. Part of the New World Order. Okay, now I'm going to go to this. I think I showed the where I've gone to places to live and gotten guests, and it's really sicker than you think. It's tearing it's slowly killing me. Um, the inflammation and the very medicine that is prescribed for me uh, goes against me, my kidneys and everything. So I was trying to say here about Terry Sawyer. He's with law enforcement, just like Carl Barton took me to Affordable Suites in '09 and the couple of murders that happened later. And then there was some more that tied in that were in patterns that they don't talk about, and they do know. But he was law enforcement that took me there, and they gassed me for 17 months. And when I've moved out of sheer having to into some of his other locations here in Roanoke, and the same things happened to me. And if you could ever see it done, the embarrassment and shame of it all is beyond belief that would happen if you saw it. Terry Sawyer, who I thought was a friend of mine, he was a wrestler, and I'm going to give you some background. Uh, my kids used to watch him, so he showed me videos Terry did after I met him up here on the trail, and Appalachian Trail, and he looks like the same person to me, and he sure acts and talks like him. So I knew him over the years. He would come up on the trail, and a few times, well, let me put it this way. He took me to places that were supposed to meet me and let me fill out applications, and suddenly they'd lock the door and they were out to lunch and wouldn't be back till. So all this kind of thing would happen, and yet the places that I got into, the HUD, etc., he's law enforcement, remember, that gassed me, and I mean, it's sick what they did. He was there, like, let me say this. He was the one that took me to Edinburgh, that was responsible for that, and they did the same thing. I had to break the lease, and it's hideous what went on there. And then Richfield in '08, he took me there. And then to Joseph's Way, he took me there in Bedford. And by the way, when he moved me in on the back of his buddy's truck, and it's okay to just do anything to me, an old mattress from out at Happy's, which market out there, I mean, anything was good enough for me. I should be proud to get it. So I moved into Bedford, and Terry, law enforcement, was one that put me there. And the air conditioning goes out. I moved in on July the 1st of 11. The air conditioning goes out immediately. Turn it on and it goes out. Now, this happens in a bunch of the places, so it gets to be a pattern in itself. But they just about killed me. So I put this on other tapes. They even moved me to another unit finally with a lot of crap that went on. And same thing, it was worse, if anything. But anyway, Terry put me there. So that's law enforcement again. Now then, Richfield was the same, I said that, in Edinburgh. Now then, when I've been forced, because of trying to leave Roanoke, and forced to come back, and the gassing goes on, the only time it didn't was when I did the live-ins and lived in someone else's home. So now then, I've had to reapply, which is bad enough when you're reapplying to people that should be locked up who've gassed you as Section 8 housing. That's federal. Well, federal's not always nice, is it? They can be the culprit, too. But, you're getting people here, managers, maintenance, and other people in on this, and it's assault with a deadly weapon to me, and it's ongoing, just like the U.S. Attorney said in Atlanta, FBI, ongoing investigation, national security involved. It's ongoing torture of me and maligning me. But now I've had to reapply, and last year after I left Bedford, Joseph's Way, and because I was being so soaked with chemicals, I managed to stay there 7 months. You won't see this in a background check or anything. You just see a name that's not really mine, Peggy Ann Dempsey, Childers. And you see me breaking leases, and I could show you some other stuff I put on that's just out and out lies. So you wouldn't see any of the truth. So now then, Richfield has sent back what I put on the email back, and they're saying, because how do I prove it? I can't even get an attorney. So they're saying they wrote letters to me, but still they denied me residency where back in '08 when Terry Sawyer law enforcement took me, I was in a couple of months. And at Edinburgh, I was in a couple of days later in '06. And then at Richfield, I said that it was a couple of months or so. And then at Joseph's Way, it was the next week. I could have moved in that day. But anyway, they gassed me. And now then when I go back to Richfield, they're giving me this crap about they have to do a full background check and police report. And now they're giving me this crap about some medical that they can't, even I can't get to is the way I read it. And yet they're giving me the runaround. So where was all this back a few years ago when the law enforcement took me there to be gassed? Okay, that's my point. Where's your background check? They took me in immediately, ahead of everybody else. So now then you go to Joseph's Way. When I had to leave there in Bedford, I moved back to Roanoke, and I applied because he had a new one in Christiansburg. There's a whole bunch of them. They're federally funded, Section 8 HUD, retirement for the elderly. Sonna, I think her name's Sonna, I've put this on there too, her letters. Scott, the manager, wrote me back, and she said that, or faxed me, that they had to do a complete background check way back where I was employed and everything. Now, God, you'd think I was trying to get top security, which in my case, you'd be lucky to get me because I'm about the only one that's told the truth in the mess. But anyway, I was denied. And my question here, too, and they wouldn't give me a reason, said they didn't have to. Why suddenly at these two places have I had to have a background check where I worked in the past? I'm 75 years old now. I've lived in these places. I've paid my rent. So they can deny me, and I've been there before. They broke the law. I hope I've got this right up in my face because, it's so hideous, the crime ongoing and in plain sight. And trying to make someone understand, and I'm not sure that if people know I couldn't make it up. Everybody around here knows it. But, well, look at me. I've been told that too. Well, you're getting the hell beat out of you. By the way, I was told that by a congressman, U.S. congressman, and now who knows all this stuff. You should see what committee he's over now. So, why the background checks at Richfield and Moore, Reverend Moore, Joseph's Way, and then I was let in there and soaked with chemicals, and then when I reapply at a brand new one in Christiansburg nearby, they tell me that I'm denied and a police check. So why am I suddenly in when law enforcement takes me there to be choked with chemicals, and then when I have to reapply out of sheer desperation, I'm denied? I'm unfit for some reason. They won't even tell me why. So I don't know if I made sense or not. The other thing I want to say is in this whole thing, like some of the jobs